First speaker of the day, Devon Downie, DTM. Devon has been a Toastmaster since May of 2008. She first joined Rogers Communications Corporate Club in Toronto, and 8 months later joined Eden Epson Toastmasters in Auckland, New Zealand. So since returning to her hometown here in Vancouver in 2010, she's been a member of several clubs in District 21 and 96, and is currently Secretary of Dynamic Professional Speakers Advanced Club. She's been a club coach, a club mentor. Let's just say the list is long. So she knows all about club leadership and can definitely relate to you in your Toastmasters journey. So a great example for all of us here. Now, more related to our first session, you should know she placed second in the 2015 Tall Tales District Contest. She's also the 2017 International Speech Contest District 96 champion, who placed 11th in the world for public speaking, and in the 2018 District 96 Evaluation Contest champion. So to say that she loves Toastmasters is an understatement. I've seen her license plate, I know. She's been a learning and development professional for over a decade, helping employees in various skills that they're looking to develop, both privately and professionally, in private and public sectors. Devon holds a Bachelor of Honors Commerce from McMaster University, Master's in Educational Tech from UBC, and she's got Adult Training and Development Certificate from U of Toronto, and is a Certified Training and Development Professional with Institute of Performance and Learning. So, I'm going to ask for Devon Downie, if you're in the room, can you please give us your royal hello? She's right here. You'll see her later. However, before that, we've got another special guest. And I think this one really, I need to get this one right, or else, I don't know, I might hear about it later when we're on the ferry tomorrow. So, Stefano Cossalter, DTM. Stefano is a professional speaker, a TEDx speaker, and a TEDx coach. He's been a Toastmaster since 2011, and since then he's become a 3-time distinguished Toastmaster and has gone on to win more public speaking contests in more categories than anyone else in the 90-year history of Toastmasters International in British Columbia. That's something to brag about for sure. So in 2024, Stefano competed in the World Championship of Public Speaking and finished in the top 6 speakers in the world. So in his free time, you should know he's an inventor, he enjoys soccer, and he also practices hypnosis. So how's that for your first 2 presenters this morning? Okay, with that, is Stefano in the room? Actually, I'm a bit nervous. Is he here? Can we look around? Can we find Stefano? Sorry? Oh. We have somebody else stealing his thunder. So, yes, I think you'll be able to find him.
Yeah. Sorry about this, guys. He's just running a little bit late, I think, but hopefully Stefano will show up shortly, and we'll get... Welcome, Stefano. Ugh. So embarrassing. Sorry. What happened?
You'll never guess what happened.
What?
I was on my way here, and my car broke down on the Pitt River Bridge. And then a 300-foot tsunami hit my car and washed me into the river. Luckily, Nissans can float. I was drifting down the Fraser River, and I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. And the worst thing, I spilled my Tim Hortons coffee. But then I heard some voices and some honking. And I looked up, and there's a huge pack of Canada geese. But I could hear them talking in English. Well, you've always called me bird-brained. Maybe that had something to do with it? So I called down, hey, hey, help, help. The geese flew down. I said, can you guys help me? I'm going to be late for the Tall Tales presentation. Devon's going to kill me. They said, no problem, no problem. So I reached up and I grabbed 2 fistfuls of feathers. The geese started to flap their wings. I started to float up. We had to stop for fuel, though, because I needed my Tim Hortons coffee. And it turns out Timbits are rocket fuel for Canada geese. I actually had 2 coffees. I had one for you, but I could only hold one between my knees as I was flying over. And they dropped down, and here I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll need a ride home later, thanks. Good morning, everybody. Raise your hand if you know what a tall tale is. Okay, quite a few of you. That's interesting. When we first did the tall tales in District 96, it was 2015, I think? 2014 was the first one. Nobody knew what a tall tale was, which was good for me. All right. A tall tale is an exaggerated story with unbelievable elements related as if it was factual. What about that story when I first came in? Did it have unreal elements? Was it somewhat believable? Like I presented it as it was actually happening? That's the essence of a tall tale. Exaggeration. Can anyone tell me what exaggeration from that tale I had? Too many hands. Yes. What was the tsunami? Yes. 300 feet tall. That's an exaggeration. Anything else? I'm sorry? Yes, the Nissan could float. Good selling feature? Yeah. English-speaking birds, yes. Talking to animals. That's interesting, isn't it? The Timbit run, yes. Rocket fuel for Canada geese. So think of larger than life. What can you really stretch or exaggerate on? I could have said, oh, the tsunami washed in. But if it's 300 feet high, my Italian grandmother, she was 189 years old. That's the kind of stretching of the truth that you want to have. Humor. So was there a little bit of humor? Yeah, a couple times where you laughed? So how do you create humor? I'm not funny. I never started funny. But the truth is, humor is something that you can create. Does anyone know how you create humor? Nayla? Oh, oops, yeah. Thank you, Nayla. Yes, surprise. People laugh when the mind is successfully tricked. And the beauty of a tall tale is everything is a surprise. So you notice that throughout the tall tales, everything is funny because we're successfully tricking the mind. So if you think you're not funny, try it out. Try to stretch your story. Try to create a surprise or a twist to your audience. That's the sort of thing that creates humor naturally. Unexpected twists. How can you show a twist in your story? Something unexpected. And I think we'll see a little bit of an example of that later on. Callbacks. Callbacks are easy peasy, and for some reason they work. I have no idea why they work, but they do. So calling back is something okay, here's something I want to stress. back when Devon and I were competing in 2016, there was a few callbacks. So for example, I made a joke about Gene Vickers smoking devil's weed, yeah. And so what happened after that was Devon, for example, she got up and she was doing her speech. She mentioned Gene Vickers in her speech. Incredible laughter. Everybody loved it. It was great. It's a callback. It's like an inside joke with everybody, and it works. The problem is, in the last few years, if you reference another person's speech in your speech, you're disqualified. So make sure, watch your callbacks, don't reference anybody's speech. It worked for us back then. It was really funny, but you can't do it anymore.
You can do it in your clubs, you just can't do it during a contest. Correct.
Yes, you can't do it during a contest, thanks. Here's another way to create humor, and you'll see this in my tall tale as well, is the rule of three. And the rule of three is basically you setting up a pattern. The least amount of beats in a pattern is 2. So you set it up with 2 things, and then the third thing is a surprise, and it causes laughter. For instance, my friend Devon Downie here, she's smart. She's a scholar, she's a friend with integrity, and she's a raging alcoholic. See, why did you laugh? I have no idea. It's just the surprise that helps it. So the rule of 3 is another way to create humor in your speeches. Props. Props are fun when it comes to tall tales. I had one prop in my tall tale, but it was kind of a surprise prop, so it wasn't something really obvious. But you see people bringing just bizarre things onto the stage. But a lot of the times, it just makes things even funnier. And even in the judge's ballot, it even mentions props. So think about, what's something that I could possibly bring on stage that could add to your storytelling? It doesn't have to be funny, but humor is a huge part of, in my opinion, any speech. Even our serious speeches, the heavier it is, you still need that humor to break the tension, allow people to relax. And tall tales is a great way to do that. So I have seen several tall tales. I remember one was very touching. It was a tall tale, but it was more like a fantastic story. It was really touching too. Unfortunately, it didn't win. In my opinion, it wasn't as good as the winner almost. But it wasn't as funny, and the humor will trump anything that's too serious, especially in a tall tale, that is. Engagement, draw people into the story. Tell people as if it's true. Look them in the eyes and tell, 300 feet tall. Make them believe it. Imagine it in your mind. Convincing as if real. You want to paint the picture in your audience's mind. You want to give them as many things as they need to create the picture. Think about it. You're painting this fantastic picture on the canvas of your audience's mind. How are you going to do that? Great way to do it is with details. What are the details? Paint the scene. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you feel? But not too many. So for example, if I'm telling a story about my dog Skittles eating some steaks standing on the counter, I don't have to tell you that the dog is a Nova Scotia duck-tolling retriever. You'll make up a picture of the dog in your mind. That's okay. And I'm okay with that. Because if I was actually to tell you it was a duck-tolling retriever, some people wouldn't even know that. Causes confusion in your mind. Now they got to sit there and think of something rather than engaging with your talk. So if there's an item that people can make up in their mind, that's fine. If I was to give Devon a rose or a flower, I gave her this flower or gave her this rose. But you don't have to be so specific, especially about things that people can picture on their own, fill in the gaps. Character dialogue. So character dialogue is very important. And here's a few tricks on how to do it. Is you want to speak as if you're in the scene. So Devon Downie's here. She's right there, real. But if I'm talking about Devon in my speech, I could say, Devon, you'll never believe what happened. And, what are you, stupid? No, character dialogue. You're talking as if you're acting out the scene. And this is how you really breathe life into a speech, is act it out. You want to be able to show people rather than telling them. And character dialogue is a great way to do it. Here's just a couple tips on character dialogue. You don't have to travel too much. Then maybe in a tall tale you might want to a bit, but if I'm talking to Devon like this, I don't have to say, oh, Devon, sorry I'm late. What, are you stupid? No, that wasn't very nice. It just takes a little bit of a movement. So you can, sorry I'm late, Devon. What, are you stupid? Or even just talk like this, so people are changing in your character dialogue. Staging. Use the stage well. Picture everywhere that you stand on the stage, you're setting up a hologram in each spot. I think Darren LaCroix calls them holograms. People read left to right, so if something's in the past, you want to start on audience left. Here's the past. Maybe the present to the future. But you can walk from left to right as a timeline is a good way to, people feel good when you can do things in a way they can understand. And here's another thing. If I was talking about when I was a little kid, I could just point to the spot where I was talking about it. I was 2.5 years old and I was driving the car. And each place you stand, you can kind of paint a picture of something that's there. So if I'm in the Nissan, I'm floating down the river here, when the geese drop me off, I'm going to be over here. So use it strategically. Tonality. Tonality is how we talk. It's how we get excited about something. You like to make things conversational, but especially with the tall tale, you got to pump it up a bit. You got to be excited. You got to picture yourself trying to convince somebody. You're sitting for coffee. Me and Mark are sitting for coffee, and I'm trying to tell him what happened. I'm serious. I believe in it. Dude, I'm so sorry. 300-foot tsunami. So keep it conversational, but add that energy to it. You're trying to convince people that something is true. Storyline. Every good story has a hero's journey. The hero's journey is before. What were you like before? Tension, conflict. Tension and conflict are very important. If you're going to create a story, there must be some sort of tension. There must be some sort of risks or stakes at hand. Possible extraordinary powers. Do you have extraordinary powers? There's lots of speeches where people are larger than life. They can take a pill and breathe in space. Or they have superhuman strength. All these things are fantastical, but deliver it in a way that it's actually happening in real. And this is your chance to delight and entertain your audience. When Tall Tales first came to the district, I remember the district officer training when they announced it, and there were 2 people that voted against it. I was one of them. I did not like the idea of having tall tales. I'm a serious guy. I like giving serious speeches, inspirational speeches. That's why you're here for Toastmasters. And I remember my friend Andrew Thompson, when he went to the World Championship of Public Speaking, came back and he told me, one thing I learned is that people want to be entertained. People want to be entertained. And the tall tales, your chance to practice this. It's your chance to let go and go wild, let your mind go free. Learn to be funny, learn to be humorous, learn to entertain and engage your audience. there's really no other way to stretch yourself like this other than the humorous speech contest. But this is even better. I think so I'll have to say by the end of the contest, I was very pleased that we had this. So here's some ideas how to come up with the tall tale. Is first brainstorm your ideas. Just think of anything. So for example, my drive to Toastmasters. So that was my story. I'm going to be late for Toastmasters. I wanted to do some sort of little surprise, coming late. And I thought, okay, I'll just come up with an excuse of why I was late. You can write out situations from your day, just ideas that'll start as your base. I was driving to work. My Italian grandmother, Nonna, she constantly criticizing me. That's the situation I was in. A pigeon flew through my window. There's a perfect base. That was Devon's talk in 2016 or 2015. Turns out the pigeon could talk. I went swimming. What could happen when you're swimming? There's a million things can happen. What's one quick example? Just an idea of something you could add to a swimming story. Loch Ness Monster, yes. Big fish, shark, whale. There's a million things you can do. Then invent your story. After you have your base of what you're working with, put in those little details. Who, what, where, when? Where did it happen? Was it something that just happened, or is it something in the past? Generate exaggeration and humor. One thing you could do also, it's easy to go back and uncover humor. You've already have everything done. Go back and look at it. Where's some things you can add? Where's something I can add to give surprise? So I wonder, will this work? Okay, so here's an example of the tall tale in 2015 that I had delivered, just as another example. Did it work? Whoops. Volume?
Our next competitor, Stefano Cossalter. The gift, Stefano Cossalter.
My Italian grandmother, my Nonna, always used to say, it's better to give than it is to receive. Mr. Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and all the welcome guests, I've got some bad news. My Nonna recently passed away. No, it's okay. She lived a long life. She was 189 years old. The reason she lived so long is she's such a religious lady. She'd get dressed up in her black dress and every single day walk to church 20 miles uphill in the snow. And that's where she prayed for my soul because she didn't like the choices I was making in life. And she was always pointing out my imperfections. Stefano, you're too skinny. Stefano, when are you going to get married? Stefano, when are you going to have the children? Stefano, now you're too fat. Now you're too skinny. It was a constant circle of criticisms I could never escape. But I love my Nonna. Before she died, I visited her in the hospital. And she gave me a little envelope and said, Stefano, take this gift and wear it so I can be with you for always. Okay, Nonna, I can do that. You know, I didn't think much of it until today, before the contest. I opened up the envelope, and inside was a gold necklace. I thought, wow, isn't this lucky? This is going to be my good luck charm for the contest. as I put it on, I did the clasp up, and something happened. All the lights went out in the house. I felt a cold chill rack my body, and then bam, right before me, 12 feet tall, bathed in the holy light, and a black dress. It was Nona. Stefano, now I know you've been a better boy. I couldn't believe it. Here was Nona back to criticize me from beyond the grave. Stefano, you bad like this. I smell the devil weed on you. Deep marijuana. But Nona, I got a ride earlier from Gene Vickers. He said it was medicinal. For growing hair. Come on, Stefano. And your body is at the temple. You've been defiling your temple. But, no, not only McDonald's has the Angry Angus burger on the sale. I only had 6. Not to mention, I just got out of the car with Gene Vickers. Come on, Stefano. And you've been having the impure thoughts about someone other than your wife. But Nona, how can you resist Sharuk Dollar in a dress? Come on, Stefano. You know, listen to me your whole life. Now I'm going to show you what's to come. She reached down with her big hand and grabbed my arm and pulled me down, down, down. When I opened my eyes, I was on a rocky outcrop. Where was I? Looking down below, I saw a sea of lava and molten magma. Inside, there were bodies reaching out, screaming and writhing. Oh my gosh, there's Charles Manson, the serial killer. There's Gene Vickers smoking devil weed. The entire membership of Rocky Point Toastmasters. I was in hell. Just as I realized that, there was a big puff of smoke beside me. And there, standing there, was the devil himself, Donald Trump. Stefano, you're fired! He pointed his trident at me. Flames leapt from the top and struck me in the back. I was on fire. My jacket's not on fire. I was back in my room. I ripped the necklace off in the struggle. Was it the necklace? Or just my imagination? I don't know, but I'm not eating one of Gene Vickers' brownies anymore. I wasn't taking any chances. I put that in the envelope, and on the way to the contest, I went to the mailbox. Because it is better to give than it is receive. To Gene Vickers. Enjoy. Love, Stefano. Mr. Chair.
So can you see some examples there of exaggeration? Yeah, what's some examples of exaggeration? 189 years old, yes. 20 miles walking uphill in the snow. What about, can you see the use of humor here? Could you see the rule of 3? It's littered with it. Easy, it's so easy. 2 things that start a pattern and 1 thing that crushes the expectations. Simple humor. Any other, was there a surprise? Any surprises? Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Surprised by the callback to Sharuk in a dress.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't wearing a dress. It was a traditional outfit. And yeah, I did poor Gene Vickers and Shruk Darawala dirty. I'm sorry. My apologies. But there you go. There's an example of a tall tale. There's some examples of how to add some humor, add exaggeration, stretch the truth, and you'll come up with a tremendous tall tale. Oh, sorry. A tall tale is 3 to 5 minutes. So you got to pack in a lot in a little bit of time. And here's just a quick note to answer that question too, is timing's very important. The size of the audience directly relates to the amount of laughter you have. When we did at Blue Heron Toastmasters, the club contest, there was laughter. When I went to area contest, there were more people, more laughter. When I was at division contest, there was 80 people there, lots more laughter. I was surprised. I got to the contest, and my mentor Ian said, "How much time are you coming in?" I'm like, "Well, I'm about 5 minutes. I'm good. I got 30 seconds to spare." He looks at me and goes, "No. Come with me. Let's go upstairs." We cut a full minute out of a 3 to 5 minute speech, and I came 2 seconds from being disqualified. And you can't continue on when people are laughing. If you want to kill the laughter, step on it. Start talking while people are still laughing. You're going to train your audience to stop laughing. So you have to leave time to let the laughter start to trail off, then continue. That's important. So if you got a 3 to 5 minute speech, you're tight on time, make room for the laughter, or you'd be disqualified.
And continuing on timing, that's how 2 people lost at the international level last year in Anaheim. The audience laughed too much, and they were disqualified for time. So yeah, timing is very important. All right, let's see if my presentation comes up. Give me one sec. Yes. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. We are going to move, thank you for the segue, Stefano, to talking about contests. We are now moving into contest season. Yay, my favorite season. And I'm going to talk about contests. And for those of you that are really keen about judging and learning about judging, join me on Tuesday night. I'm going to be doing a session just devoted to judges training. So we're going to do that session. I'm going to talk very lightly about judges throughout this, but if you want it in depth, join me on Tuesday. Melody is going to be sending out those details later. But right now, we're going to talk about successful club contests, how to run a contest without killing yourself and others. Yes. Show of hands, who's run a contest before, or who's participated in a contest at all? Show of hands. Okay, and who's competed in a contest before? Show of hands. Yay, good job. And just curious, who's never seen a contest at Toastmasters before? Oh, we got some newbies. I love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, that just gives me an idea of what to focus on. What we're going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a run-through of a contest. And I also want to acknowledge Blair Montgomery, who was chief judge for District 96 in 2014 to 2016. This presentation was inspired by him, so I'm giving Blair some credit. If you're in the room, Blair, I love you. Okay, and let's continue on. All right, this is what I'm going to cover. We're going to cover contest roles. I'm going to do a deeper dive into the contest chair, the chief judge. Then I'm going to get a summary, and there's a quiz. So pay attention. All right, here we go. This is going to look like a lot, but bear with me, everyone. You need one contest chair. In some clubs, the chair is different from the Toastmaster. I'm just putting them together. You have one person who's going to oversee the whole thing. And these are the things that they're going to be doing. They're going to recruit everybody for the contest, and they're going to ensure that the roles are filled. They're going to conduct a briefing, and they're going to ensure that they have the contest materials. These are free, and they're available on Toastmasters International website. Go download them. And they're going to act as the master of ceremonies. They're going to introduce the contestants, and they're going to manage the flow of the event. They're going to interview the contestants, although some clubs have a separate role for interviewer. I love interviewing. That's one of my favorites. So if you're looking for someone, I love doing it. But sometimes it's simply just because if you have a small club, then sometimes it is simply the person who's running the contest is also interviewing. And what else are we talking about here? They are going to read the contest script. This is something that I'm going to focus on throughout this session. So you know how you have a Toastmaster meeting and like things kind of like ebb and flow. It's kind of like cooking where you can add a little bit of this, you can like shorten this, no problems. But baking is an exact science. You can't add too much, or you can't just maybe substitute. No, baking follows the rules. And in a contest, you follow the rules, okay? Because I'm the chief judge, and I take these things really seriously, and I don't want to have a talk with you about how you didn't follow the rules. Okay. You're actually gonna, if you're chairing, you're gonna read the script. Can you repeat back what I just said? Yeah, this is not the chance to be your own person and like shine and just go off book. No, because you're going to do a disservice to everyone that's sitting in that audience. You're going to do a disservice to everyone on that stage, and you could impact their chance to go to the world's stage. Do you want to be responsible for that? No, follow the script. Okay. Let's go to Chief Judge. Woohoo! You are going to recruit and brief the judges, the timers, and the ballot counters. And you're going to make sure that they are eligible and that they know about the contest rules. And they're going to oversee the ballot collection, the tallying process, and you are going to maintain confidentiality. Those judges, for the most part, are confidential. Yes, I know at club level, you probably know who the judges are because you have a small club, and there's only so many people that can judge and so many people that can compete. I know that. But when you get higher up, it becomes ideally anonymous. You don't want to know where those judges are in the audience and that you give your speech to one person the whole time and ignore everyone else. You don't want to be that. No. Ideally, they are spread out, you don't know who they are, and they are fair and impartial. That's the ideal state that we're aiming for. All right, more roles. There's those judges right at the top. Their job, judge's job, is to pick a winner. They're not an evaluator. They're not going to give the contestant feedback. They are picking a first, a second, and a third. That's their job, and they sign the ballot. That's it. That's all they do. They're not magical unicorns. They are just choosing three people, first, second, and third. That's it. And they submit their ballot, and then the tiebreaker who picks everybody. And I have been a tiebreaker before, and my ballot has been used, and it took up, I think there was once a contest, 3 ties that had to be broken. So tiebreakers are very important. They're also super anonymous. Nobody but the chief judge knows who they are. And sometimes their ballot doesn't get used, but sometimes, in my case, 3 ties were broken with one. Yes? Yeah. No. It's only to be used in the event of a tie or multiple ties. Yeah, it's never used. Good question. Timers. There are 2 timers. Why? Why is there 2 timers? That's right. In case the equipment dies or something, we can't say, "Hey, contestant, just pause there for a second. Yeah, we just need to figure some stuff out." No, that's rude. You're not going to do that. That's why you have 2 timers. In case something goes wrong, you have a backup. So you both go start. Awesome. 2 timers. Make sure there's 2 timers. And they record if there's any speech disqualifications because they've gone over or under time. You can be disqualified for under time as well. All right, ballot counters. These are the people that are collecting those ballots from the judges, and then they add them all up. And they also are confidential and they work with the chief judge to validate those results. And lastly, our sergeant-at-arms, 1 to 2 sergeant-at-arms for every contest. I say 2, especially for those that need somebody to walk them out, like evaluation, which we're not doing this year, or what's the other one that I'm forgetting? Table topics, that's right, where not all the contestants are in the room. That's not an issue this year, so I'm not going to talk about that. All right. They also are going to guard the door to make sure that people are not coming in and out of the room when someone is speaking, because you don't want to ruin their chances to go to the world stage. Again, we take contests really seriously because it's a very formal event. It's not just for funsies. Okay. Any questions about any of the roles that I've talked about? Question? No. No. There's no papers being passed anywhere. So what happens is, okay, let me repeat the question. The question was, are there papers being passed around the room? No. So a judge will receive their ballot, and they will mark their ballot. They wait until the end of the contest. They gently rip their ballot, or they just put it in an envelope, and the ballot counters come, collect it really super secretly, and then they walk away. Yeah, there's no passing of papers, but the ballot counters have to keep an eye on where the judges are so that they can kind of gently hover nearby them. That's, yeah, no, like, there's not going to be like, okay, I'm done with my ballot. That's it. No, there's none of that. It's it's supposed to be quiet. It's supposed to be anonymous. Well, they don't have to raise them, but they can give a little wink to the ballot counter, like that they're collecting them. You keep an eye out for them. Or, in fact, judges, if they want, they could just stand up, stretch, go to the bathroom, pass their ballot on their way out. You know, be anonymous, be cool, don't be ridiculous. Okay, let's keep going. Hey, timing of contests. Contest season officially starts December the 1st in your club, and it runs until the end of January. And for areas, you're supposed to have your contest between February and March 15th. For our divisions, March 15th to early April, and I say early April because you have to have it done before, there's my laser, April the 17th, because why? That's the district contest. So you have to be done by this date. So that's why we give about a month between. So start planning those contests now if you haven't already. You now know your dates. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the chair. What's happening before the contest? You are downloading the rule book. It is free. I've literally put the address right there. You have 0 excuses. If you want some bedtime reading, I highly recommend. There's about 35 pages. It is riveting. And I'm going to be testing you on it later. You're welcome. All right, so please download that. You also, if you have never run a contest before, find a mentor. How do you find a mentor? Anyone? How do you find a mentor? Ask somebody who's been around a while, or even somebody who hasn't been around a while, who just did last year's contest. Ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. And find a chief judge and work with the chief judge to fill all the roles. All right, before the contest, if you're area level or above, find a willing host. Who's going to host that contest? Find them and get all the details. Okay, and the venue should be of sufficient size for the number of clubs that you've got, for the number of people that you're expecting. And yes, you can set an entry fee. Who's the only person that doesn't get charged a fee? That's right. Good job. And ensure there's a separate space from the contest for, like, you need a separate room for the tallying. And so make sure it's not just one open room. Make sure there's a side room or some other space outside, not in winter, but make sure there's a separate space to be used for the tallying. Awesome. Okay. The chair, you are going to promote the value and benefits of competition to clubs, to areas, and beyond. Stefano, tell me, why do you compete in contests? Why do you keep competing in contests? This is the interactive part. All right. So tell me, promote club contests.
Sure. So the reason, I remember, I think it was 2014 or something like that, I remember seeing this guy on stage and he was holding 2 trophies. And I was like, oh my God, I want that. It was Shruk Darawala back there. It was incredible. And so that was part of the reason, but the real reason is there's nothing really in Toastmasters that forces you to be the best you can be besides competition. It's not about winning. I've failed and lost my share of contests. Yep. It's, in fact, the first contest I came in second out of 2 people. But after losing, I was able to see, number one, you get to see great speakers, you get to see the best speakers in the district perform, and you can compare yourself to that. Where can I improve? What can I do? What can I do better next time to have a better result? So there's nothing else in Toastmasters. It teaches you to, Toastmasters says, do a speech, throw it away. Do a speech, throw it away. But contest speeches, you have to redo it, edit. Are you trying to get me off stage? Okay, good. So, yes, very valuable.
Thank you. All right. All right, so I've already mentioned this, download the kit. There's a kit, like a set, for every single contest that Toastmasters has. So download it, it's free, it's available, go get it. And we will have contest scripts as of December the 1st. Wait for it, it's coming. I know you're super excited. So just wait for it, it's coming. All right, let's talk about before the contest, the chair. Select a calligrapher. I love this. It's usually district level that there's a calligrapher. Usually if you're the contest chair, it's you or the chief judge does paper, rock, scissors to determine who has worse handwriting so that you can see the name on it. So you choose who gets to be the calligrapher. There usually isn't a separate one. Again, as I've mentioned, you might have a role that's a contestant interviewer. Otherwise, you're probably doing it. And make sure all the contestants have completed the eligibility and contestant profile. You're going to give that profile form to the interviewer so they can think up some fun and embarrassing questions to ask the contestant during the interview stage. And also, hey, contestants must be members of a club in good standing. What is good standing? They have to pay, and the club has to have at least 8 members. Just a little side note, I won the district evaluation contest because somebody wasn't a member in good standing. Seriously, I came in second in division. I was like, oh yeah, that's great, awesome. And I went home and I was like, yeah, didn't even think about it. And then 2 days before the district contest, I got a call and they're like, hey, yeah, we need you to compete. And I'm like, sorry, what? And they're like, yeah, the person who won, their club wasn't in good standing. They didn't know. Oh my God. So I won. Okay. So it happens. Make sure that the member has paid and the club has paid. Joanne. Yeah. So we have to check these things, okay? Did the member pay? Did the club pay? Does the club have enough members? All this is really important. That's good standing. Okay. Before the contest, chief judge, print out sufficient forms. So if you have a workplace that has a printer, just before hours, after hours, during lunch, print some stuff. Go crazy. Make sure it's color as well. Like, color is pretty. All right. Again, all of it's available, and print contest agendas. I don't know about you, I like walking into a contest that's got the agenda sitting waiting for me. Yes, it's organized. I feel confident in that person that's running it. Make sure you have that. Okay. Before the contest, select 5 judges at club or area. 5 judges. Now, you might not have enough judges in your club currently. You need to make friends with other clubs, and that's what events like this are for. Most of my Toastmaster friends are not even in my club, except for Stefano. Make friends with other people. That's why networking events are so great. You could be like, hey, you're awesome. Would you like to be a judge? Seriously, this happens a lot. You get to make lots of new friends. Do it. And then you need 7 judges for division or district, and then it just keeps going up from there, the number of judges. You need 1 secret tiebreaker judge for every contest, and they place everyone who competes, and no one sees their ballot except for the chief judge. And sometimes you don't even open it if you don't need it. So, Selecting judges for area, division, and district. Seek members who've earned their level 1 and 2 in pathways, or they are a DTM from the previous program. And DTM is preferred at district level contests because likely they've been to a number of contests and have that level of experience. Okay, let's keep going. Before the contest, chief judge. For a division contest and above, no chief judge, voting judge, or tie-breaking judge may be a member of any club in which the contestant is a member. Why? Bias, yes. You want this to be as fair as possible. Yes, at club level, it's not always possible, but at division, it absolutely is. So none of the people competing at division level will have someone judging from their club. And I will make sure of that. Okay, make sure, again, you've got enough forms, and the notification of contest winner proceeds to the next level. Awesome. Okay, pre-contest, the chief judge briefs the judges, timers, and counters, and they make sure they sign the papers and that everything is working, and the contest chair briefs the contestants on the rules, timing, speaking area, position of lights, disqualification, process, and draw for speaking order. So 2 very different things that those 2 roles are briefing on. During the contest, the chair, read the script. If that's the only thing you learn from me today, read the script. Don't go off book. I will murder you. Okay, yes, Stefano. Can the chair add witty comments in between? I'd prefer not. Yeah. Yeah. This is not your moment to shine. You all are going to sound like robots. Yes, you can smile, yeah. But please just read the script because, again, you are going to impact the results if you go off book, and I don't want that, and they don't want that. So just read the script, okay? All right. After the audience and dignitaries are welcomed, you're like, this is the script that you're reading. You're going to clarify the timing, rules, blah, blah, blah. You're going to announce the speaking order, and that's really important for the judges. They're going to be writing that down. And sometimes the audience, for funsies, will also have a ballot, and they'll also be judging for themselves. So they also want to know those details. You're going to then ask the chief judge, have all the judges, timers, and counters been briefed? And they're going to say yes. If they say no, you come to me. Okay. And during the contest, you're going to allow 1 minute of silence in between speakers, and as much time as necessary. So just want to clarify, it's not 2 minutes when all the contestants are done. It's not 2 minutes of silence. It's as much time as they need. You are held hostage in that room until all the judges have filled out their ballots. And then, once all the ballots have been collected and they leave the room, then applause, and then you get to the interview stage. But it is going to be dead silent. It's going to be painful. I know it hurts, but you have to do it. Okay. Then you'll receive the results, the certificates, blah, blah, blah. And it's up to the contest chair if they decide to announce disqualifications. Sometimes they don't. I hate it. I like to know what's happening. So I want to know if there was how many time disqualifications. That's something I'm curious about, so it's up to you. After the speakers are finished, the chief judge will collect that timer's report, circle anyone who's under or over, and collect the tie-breaking judge's form, and that's it. Hold the ballots until a notification of contest winner is completed. Awesome. Okay, during the contest, the chief judge will supervise the counting process, determine the ballots are valid, and then use the ballot form to list the judges down on the left and the contestants across the top. So you'll tally everything up, and you'll deal with protests. Now, I wanna just make sure that you guys understand this. There's only two people that can protest: a contestant or a judge. That's it. No audience member. It's not your time to shine. You just sit there and nod and smile. That's it. But if you are a judge or if you're a contestant, you can protest. I'm not encouraging a protest, but you can protest on content or eligibility. That's it. And going back to what Stefano said earlier when he talked about callbacks, that is something you can protest. That is content. Or if somebody has in the past, oh, we've got a question. I'll come to you in a sec. Don't lose that question. Sometimes somebody might quote something, or maybe they don't even quote it. They're like, I said to be or not to be. Well, obviously, that's Shakespeare. That's Hamlet. You didn't say that. You have to quote it. That you could protest, okay? And Yeah, content or eligibility. That's it. So if they're not a member of good standing and you know they didn't pay their Toastmaster dues, you get them, okay? Otherwise, no protest for you. All right. Question in the back. Correct. Yeah. Just judges and contestants can protest. Mary Lee.
Yes, as a longtime Toastmaster, I'm wondering if people use their brain to come up with their speech, or do they use Chat GPT nowadays?
That's a great question. Maybe I'll cover that on Tuesday night. I don't have time to cover it today about AI, but yes, AI should not be writing your speech. True. Yep. Okay. Just yes. Yep. Well, the process is the judges will leave the room. The chief judge will take whoever is protesting out. It's handled separately. They have a discussion, and the audience is held hostage until that is sorted out. And every situation is different. Once it's sorted out, everyone comes back. Then when the decision is made, when the winners are announced, everything is final. Nobody can protest after that. It's done. So you have to do it by the time the contestants have stopped speaking. That's the time to follow the chief judge, go out of the room, have a little chit chat, sort it out, then be done. Once the names are announced, no protest can come forward. Sharuk.
On the question of the AI,
Yeah.
the contestant has to certify a form that says contestant's certification of originality.
Yep.
And it says there that you are certifying that this is your own product.
Yep.
No more than 25% can be,
Somebody else's.
but you have to give attribution.
Yes, that's right. So for those at home listening, what Sharuk said was you sign a form that declares that this speech is original and can be up to 25% somebody else's content that you've likely cited. Otherwise, you could be protested. Yes, Janice.
You just said that eligibility finishes right at that point of the contest announcement, but your earlier story was being called out about a club not being in good standing.
Yep.
How are those two things resolved?
Ideally, the chief judge looks at all of the contestants before the contest and sorts that out, and that it's not done after the fact. But just for timing's sake, if your contest falls after dues, right? So we go from, when do we pay dues? It's March 31st. So let's say you're at the district contest, and this is likely what happened in my case. At the district, they hadn't paid the dues, but they had up until March, so they were fine up until that point. So that's how it happens. Yeah, it's timing. It's the way that we do timing. Sharuk. Sure. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to keep going because we are at time, and I'm going to be. Yeah. I have a quiz, and I don't want you to miss that. I think I have after the contest. Pay outstanding bills. Yay, summary. Okay, so here's what we talked about. Get a copy of the rule book. Download the contest kit. Find yourself a mentor. Get a chief judge or get them a mentor. Work with the chief judge to build the ballot counters, timers, and contest judge team. Select a date, if a venue is not already being secured, secure a venue. Get contestants, and if you're chairing the club contest, promote the value of competition to its club members. That's your summary. Now we're going to move into the quiz. And some of these things I didn't cover today, so you're really going to be on your toes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is multiple choice and true and false, and you are just going to yell out the answer. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put the question on the board, and you're going to yell out, which is the right answer? Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? All right, here we go. Oh, we're going to ignore that. And here we go. How many voting judges are required at the division level? It is 7. Okay, next question. What is required to be an eligible to judge at the area level? It is C, 6 months of membership and completion of level 2. What percentage of a speech may be quoted or paraphrased? It is 25. You are listening. I love it. Number 4, true or false, the chief judge is allowed to vote on contestants. It is false. They do not get a vote. They do not. Number 5, true or false, contestants may reference another contestant's speech. It is false, even though it's fun. Okay, question number 6, true or false, the chief judge is allowed, oh, did I put it in twice? Look at me. Well, you already know it. Okay. Number 7, which of the following roles make a member ineligible to compete in the same contest? Ooh, it is true. You cannot compete and be another role in the same contest. Okay. Number 8, what is the minimum number of voting judges required at a club contest? It is 5. Good job, everybody. Number 9, true or false, contestants must physically be present to compete beyond the club level. It is. Friendly reminder, you can do hybrid or online for your club contest area and above, you are in person. Number 10, true or false, contestants can be charged admission for a contest. That is false. Don't you charge them or I'll give you a piece of my mind. All right, that concludes the presentation. I appreciate your time and attention today. If you have questions about contests, please come and see me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'm going to hand it over to Melody, and I believe we are going to have a very short break, and then we're going to come back with a new speaker. So thank you so much, everyone.
Let's give a round of applause for Stefano, too. It looks like, well, I don't know if he wants
Love
to put
that,
his jacket
Stefano.
on for that. Thank you. I might have gotten one of those questions wrong. I should know I'm the PQD this year. So I'll attend on Tuesday.
Yeah, she reminds me of the way Tennessee.